again, no different from the first game. That one being taken away by Choke, so heavy focus on that mid lane of Brixton. Last time we saw him on Fizz, obviously didn't work out very well.
Yeah, and you know, we'd spoken about his Fizz a little bit before and how strong that was supposed to be, and I wasn't feeling it. He even got the kind of the counter pick in that matchup. He was able to pick whatever he wanted, and the early pressure out from Proper Panda as well. They got that flash early on from Ari, but it just was futile at that point. They couldn't capitalize on that early gank, but we are going to see what the last two bans are going to be. Warwick not available for this game.
Yeah, and we see the two meta considerations coming in here of that Warwick and that Gnar, and now looking towards the first pick of UWT mate. And they're going to spend a little bit of time on this one to decide exactly what they want, but they actually banned out the Warwick here, so it didn't come out from Choke, but maybe they just didn't want it to put it in their own composition. Either way, that will be the Irelia coming in by UWT mate.
It will indeed. Now, Irelia, they banned it out in the last game because Numlocked is very good on Irelia up in that top lane. We've heard a couple of things from time to time, champions to go against Irelia, and we don't normally talk about hovers, but Hecarim is one of them. It is a champion you can play against Irelia up in that top lane. It sounds very strange, but Numlocked has even been the one to do it as well, so that's something we could look for through this pick and ban phase, because there are very few champions you can actually play against Irelia right now. A good Irelia player will punish most AP champions like a Lissandra, like a Rumble up in that top lane. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, if Numlock is able to play Hecarim, then it is a pretty viable counter heading into that top lane. But either way, there has been the Lucian locked in here, and that will be again the Pantheon coming in this time around for Lasagna, showing Proper Panda how it's done.
Yeah, and this will be an interesting one. Lasagna now has what a lot of people would presume to be the top jungler right now when you don't have Warwick available. Lee Sin would be the next, alongside Jarvan and the likes of Xin Shao. So obviously UWT mate are toying with the idea of a jungle pickup here, but that Lucian being on shoot up this time. We saw him on Graves last game. Corki is still available here should UWT mate want to pick it up for Jokerism. And the question is, what is it going to be? He looks like he's actually opting towards that Graves again. That's quite interesting that we're not seeing Corki quite as prominently picked here.
Right, so Graves actually comes in as the number 2 following from that Lucian, this time around taken by UWT mate. That was, of course, on Chewed Up last game, went huge in that game, had an incredible scoreline. And likewise, Lee Sin will be coming in for a Proper Panda, swapping up in this game. So the picks so far entirely different from UWT mate, so feeling that the picks and bans may be the root of the problem heading into the last game, and trying to make that change as we head into this one. But a very interesting pickup from Choke Gaming here, Stress. They do lock in the Soraka and the Maokai.
Yeah, so they're looking to go sustain against burst. So as soon as Graves starts putting the damage down, you know, heal up the target, and you can even silence a lot of Graves' damage there as well. Make sure he can't use his buckshot and collateral damage. So obviously that bottom lane Soraka is pretty much a linear champion, very difficult to get her out of the lane. So not really too much of a surprise. We started to see her come back a little bit more. Don't really see her too much first pick into the lane. It's normally the likes of a Stoner or a Nami or a Thresh that you'll see first pick. So very interesting that Choke feel confident. Once again, it's this defensive playstyle that's going to punish their opponents.
Indeed, and of course, you spoke about the Equinox. Kind of the same thing as Victor, where you plonk the gravity field on yourself. It's like, okay, come at me, you'll be silenced when you arrive. And UWT mate will be trying to respond to this one. They are currently looking at their mid laner and support, and that mid laner has been locked in. It will be in the form of Ari for Brixton in this game, and their very last pick for their composition will indeed be the Morgana.
Could look for something perhaps like the Orianna Alchemist plays or the Xerath. Those would be the common choices here that Alchemist would be looking for, especially into Ari. You don't want to play anything that is going to get easily burst down. So those two champions are able to sit far back enough, and they fit Alchemist playstyle very well. But UWT mate's composition that they kind of set up for themselves is a lot of single target focus. You look at an Ari, an Irelia, a Lee Sin, and Morgana with a Dark Binding. You catch one person, and you pretty much take them away from the map. You then get objectives from that. So that is what we're looking for from UWT mate. What are Choke going to give us down in that bottom lane? They played Ari last game, not available now.
Yes, indeed. So, of course, we do have that Maokai in the top lane. Now, we will be looking at the mid lane pick here, coming in from Choke. They have 10 seconds remaining, and they lock in Azir here, Stress. So, of course, the only other Azir we've seen on patch 4.20 was, of course, Bjergsen in San Jose.
It was, and this is actually kind of a fairly safe champion for Alchemist. You can farm from quite a way back with the soldiers, but it's not a champion I've seen him play. It's a very different play style when it comes to actually the champion mechanics than we normally see out of Alchemist. But all the way down the line for Choke, you can see they've got a lot of team fight potential here as well. You've got not only the crowd control that Alchemist is going to bring, you've got a lot of damage and damage reduction out of top and jungle, and then Soraka's going to heal everybody up. So team fights, you have to feel like Choke are going to feel very confident in them.
Yeah, this is like the quintessential teamfight comp, right? You have the Maokai in the top lane, of course, that damage reduction coming through, Lasagna coming in with the initiations, and I'll be very interested to see how Lasagna plays this game in comparison to Proper Panda. Of course, we saw him on that champion in the last game, so if he'll come with a different playstyle, or if his earlier ganks would be more effective.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a very similar early playstyle. As with Pantheon, you always want to get into a lane like the mid lane as much as possible. The problem with that is they're up against Brixton on Ahri. Ahri is typically mobile post 6, but you know, we saw the flash burned early. Can Alchemist capitalize if the same sort of thing happens again? Because that's the real question. That was what set up the last game, is they couldn't really capitalize from that mid lane gank, and then the jungle was just given such an easy time because of it.
Well, make sure to join the conversation over at Twitter, guys, using the hashtag L4N. But we are just about ready to head onto the rift between these two teams, heading into the second game of this best of 3. UWM mate now in the bottom left-hand corner, and of course in the upper right it will be Choke.
So, game 2, it is a 1-0 lead currently for Choke. And let's see what UWM have got for us in the beginning of this game, because this looks to be something quite a bit different to normal. And again, this looks like an invade in the beginning of this game.
Yeah, so Choke going with the very standard start of just fanning out into their jungle, but UWM mate with this very focused early game play. Now heading over, here comes the charm, lands onto Chewed Up as well. Here comes the follow-up, and he talks about that single target composition, and even at level 1, you can see that coming into effect. First blood to UWM mate.
Really nice flash charm there. If that hadn't have hit, that would have almost certainly been the laning phase going away from UWM mate, but they're not done yet. They've got wards down in the enemy jungle, and they have taken full control of this lower side jungle.
Yeah, Brixton wasn't able to make it 2 for 2 on charms, but either way, they have, as you said, full control over this jungle. The wards come out.
And interesting about wards, actually, we saw Zodiac start the game with a red trinket, but because of the early kill onto Chewed Up down in that bottom lane, he's actually swapped it up and has now opted for the warding trinket. It's not available yet because of the cooldown, but the reason for doing this is they need the extra vision bottom lane because of that that setup already. Lee Sin could look to come bot, and with no wards in the initial buy from Soraka, it would be a very risky time to stick around in that lane if jungle were looking to invade.
So after that flurry of action, we will be now heading into the jungles, going with a very standard start here. Proper Panda was getting a little bit of assistance from Wizzy U, but you know what that means, Stress? It will be that lane swap now coming in here by UWM mate, swapping away from that bottom lane. It will be Graves and Morgana into the top lane.
Yeah, and considering they just got the lead in that lane, that's actually a little surprising that Jokerism would swap away, as normally you'd want to sit there and capitalize on that. So that's going to kind of give them an easier time down in this bottom side. Interesting out from Choke. Have they actually started on that? No, they did do Grunt before. I couldn't quite see it on my screen, but they've stuck a lot of people around at blue.
So right now we do have Proper Panda heading into that northern jungle here from the red team and looking to take this one away. Maybe even just waiting for the opposing jungler to come in. Not going to be the case, but more importantly, take a look at this, Stress. Something that's not available in the current patch, but 420, absolutely viable.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, there's no real chance of this getting stopped. There's no real chance of a steal either, but this is all a product from seeing that lane swap. We've seen that Pantheon can do Dragon on his own with a couple of levels, but with 3 people there, including a Soraka to heal them up, this is a very easy Dragon attempt. It just is a question of how long is it going to take?
Actually, not too long. With 3 members there, able to take it down in pretty good time. 3 minutes for the very first Dragon. That will be timed out here by Choke, and of course, if you hit tab as UWM mate, you will be able to see that one.
But what they haven't quite seen yet, I don't believe, is Wizzy sticking around this middle lane. He's looking maybe to get in here for a roam, but I think the appearance of Lasagna is going to be enough to deter him from this gank. So UWM mate, great start to the game, but Choke got themselves potentially right back.
Lasagna almost caught out, almost juking back into the dark binding. Proper Panda was zooming in for the kill alongside his support player. but now into the bot lane. This is the 1v2 opening up. Keys comes in, lands the Equilibrium strike, doing a pretty good job in this difficult situation.
Mid lane, WizU is still there as well, but with them getting the first dragon, you have to expect that UWM are going to look to pressure the tower first, but they've left Jokerism on his own up in this top lane, and yes, he's even on farm, but the global gold is going to need to be equalized. They need to get gold enough to catch up the stats that Choke picked up from first dragon.
So in the top lane, it will be the jungler meeting up the support. WizU has been called out here. Numlock pinned in place, but Lasagna has more than enough damage to deal with this support. Zappling over the wall, trying to make tracks and head onto these onto these dual laners. WizU dropping low. Here comes the spear shot. Lasagna secures that kill, making that one-on-one. Jokerism comes in, lands a bookshot, but will be backing away.
Lasagna is just completely outplaying Proper Panda in the beginning of both of these games. He has just been in the right place at the right time, and from there it's very easy for him actually to control the map. You can see as well, Lasagna has picked up the Rangers Trailblazer over on the other side, an item we actually weren't expecting to see. The top lane, there is a lot of damage.
Yeah, Numlock following through the sapling as well, and this is something we didn't mention before, but following the first blood, which went onto Proper Panda, he was able to instantly pick up that Stalker's Blade. So he's actually had this for a long time now, so this has been a plan in the making for a good couple minutes.
We don't normally see Stalkers though, even on Lee Sin. When we've been seeing Lee Sin in OGN, it's always been Rangers Trailblazer into that Warrior enchant. He's looking for Warrior here, but again, it's more just burst, single target focus damage. He's just going to look to get that smite down, get that extra bit of damage, and make sure that they can take control of a single person. But bottom lane, here comes Panda.
He's going 1-on-2, make that 2-on-2 with Proper Panda coming in here, has the red buff. Keys is dropping low and Chewed is punishing for it. Here comes the piercing light, will be joking through here, not quite enough damage. Heal as well from Zodiac, plus the heal in the form of the Summoner heal, plus Lasagna into the mix, means that they will be pushing back the aggression, turning that to a 3-2 situation. No kills go down.
And the fact of the matter is, UWM were looking to go aggressive on that, and Keys dropped incredibly low. Proper Panda is now forced to kind of hold this tower 1v3. They are going to use the teleport. That will be enough to make Choke back away. But what's happening on the rest of the map? Look, Maokai is already up on CS on Irelia, and one thing that is pretty evident, if Irelia can't get herself into this game with farm or kills, it's going to be a long game for UWM.
And Keys selects the wrong minion and will not be able to reset his Blade Surge, so that's a little bit unfortunate here. And that will be currently 1-on-1 on kills, but following a lane swap up, you really have to question how much did they gain, and the answer to that question at the moment stresses not very much.
Yeah, they pretty much gained nothing from it, to be honest. They gave away the dragon and really haven't capitalized on that, but top lane they are perhaps looking to right now as WizU does land the binding, but it's a Maokai. You're really not going to be able to burst him down.
Yeah, not quite as easy as it was in the bottom lane before, as he's trying to put down the harassment, but Zodiac means that Chewed is going to be very, very healthy in this lane, and will be able to supply those heals left, right and center and all day. Currently in terms of gold though, only a 200 gold advantage to Choke, so nothing to write home about just yet as we head into the second game of this best of 3 here at Four Nations.
But with Dragon not giving global gold and First Blood going to UWM, that's actually quite a major factor in this game. Zodiac's low.
Oh, Zodiac may have dropped way too low. Here comes the last Transcendent Blaze, missed one, and that would have been resulting in the kill. Chewed will be punishing Keys here. Doesn't have enough damage to pick up the kill. But that was a little close for comfort for Zodiac in the bottom lane.
Yeah, a little bit, quite a lot close for comfort on that one, but didn't have anywhere near his ultimate available. He is still only level 4 down in this bottom lane, but that gold disparity really is a sign just of how Choke are reacting very well again. They've kind of dropped back a little bit to defensiveness in that mid and top lane because they know they can't really get too much from them. They just have to outlast this bottom lane that is being aggressive, and they're being far more aggressive than Graves and Morgana are as well, because there's just not really a lot that Graves and Morgana can do here.
Again, in the bot lane we just see a little bit of trading back and forth, but WizU now putting a ward in the opposing jungle in that red buff. Lasagna comes up, but with the razor sharp buff coming in from the Raptors, we'll be able to clear that one away with the help of Zodiac, as he is now accompanying him in his jungle as Numlock also comes down, making sure that Choke is just able to pick up all their buffs without any contest from UWM. And in the mid lane, of course, it will be the Emperor of the Sands, DX Alchemist on that Azir. Hasn't used any summoners, hasn't used Assault, and hasn't even gone back to base yet. Will be doing that very first back of the game, picking up the Chalice and well on his way to the Athenes with the Fiend's Codex as well.
Yeah, now it's a little bit interesting that you'd see the Athenes buy. A lot of people have been moving over to the Morellonomicon for that extra cooldown reduction. Doesn't quite give you as much mana though, and that's one thing that we've kind of seen out of Azir, but his bottom lane, Chewdup's low on health.
Well, Keys is low on mana, and that means he can't follow up, but who can follow up is Proper Panda in the jungle here on Zodiac. Slows him down with the cripple, with Brixton coming in from behind. Will be using the ultimate, lands the Q onto a minion. Chewdup now into the fight, but the Dragon's Rage will be executing him, follow over the wall as well. Brixton mixed up the second kill of the fight. DX Alchemist 1-on-2, can he make this work? Here comes the ultimate from Lasagna. DX Alchemist is so incredibly low, but will pick up the kill in return onto that Lee Sin. Oh, gets taken down by the Orb of Deception. Lasagna, can he be manly enough to take on these two surviving members of UWM? Brixton and Keys getting out of this jungle on very low HP, and Lasagna is still in hot pursuit. We'll be taking an Orb of Deception, and I think he decides better of it.
Lasagna just had the read there at the tail end of that fight, but all the way back, you could see them chase through the jungle. A really nice ult out of Alchemist made sure that Alex stayed alive. Brixton is overstaying here.
The charm lands onto Lasagna, but it wasn't quite enough damage with both swings of the Orb of Deception.
Yeah, he was overstaying because right behind Lasagna was Zodiac. But let's take another look at this bottom lane engage. Chewdup tries to get away over the wall, but runs pretty much just into Grump. Look for the ultimate here from Alchemist. As Panda comes forward, he then ults him back into the Pantheon ultimate. And from there is a really easy cleanup for the rest of the team. A little bit of Brixton getting a good Orb of Deception there to pick up another kill. But as we're back to life, Dragon's gone down.
Proper Panda over the wall. It was actually Keys taking away the dragon with a Transcendent Blade. So it wasn't even the smites coming out. In fact, Lasagna didn't even smite. So the first dragon of the game, in fact, the second dragon of the game, goes over to UWM, making that one apiece.
It was actually a dragon steal. We didn't see the attempt there, and I've just gone back and double-checked it. It was Choke starting off the dragon, and as you said, Irelia coming over and landing the Transcendent Blades. Lasagna really just kind of let that one go away from him, and that's a fairly important thing. That's going to equalize the dragon count between these two. Look at how much damage Chewdup is taking here.
But it's a questionable engage here, as Chewdup will just follow with the double tap, take him down in the one-on-one, and when you have that many caster minions behind you, it was a questionable decision. It
was. I mean, he kind of got baited in by the fact that it was a good trade at the beginning, but he was trading well because Chewdup wasn't actually doing anything to him, and WYZIU's looking to maybe do the same thing. I'm not sure that they're really going to get too much from this without the help of Panda.
Proper Panda does not connect the Sonic Wave and will be heading back, but if you take a look to the top side, it will be Brixton coming in, maybe looking to secure a kill onto the bottom lane. Thinks he will not be doing that one today. Takes away the pink ward, and maybe even now again heading in from behind, but that ward's over the wall by Zodiac and make that two wards over the wall will give them complete control over that area. Now Brixton is the middle of no man's land. Alchemist, great juke out of the way of the charm, and now Lasagna's caught in the middle of them, but that's just going to be him being kicked back to his team by Proper Panda. Now Alchemist is still trying to escape from this one. He does have that soldier, but Proper Panda will be executing him. Now Keys is on the offensive. Numlock fell in that background action as well. Zodiac falls down, trying to be the sacrificial lamb. Can they turn around and pick up the kill? Yes, they can, as Chewdup comes in with the first. WYZIU not in range to land the Dark Binding, but the double kill for Lasagna, now being chased down by Proper Panda, comes in with the triple kill. You're not going to be able to take down Jokerism and WYZIU, but still, overall, messy fight, but a 4-for-3 in favor of UWM.
A very messy fight, but finally UWM managed to get themselves a couple of kills here. Let's take a look back at the beginning of this engage. A really nice juke out from Alchemist to stop him from dying. Actually, that was a little earlier in the fight, but as Keys begins to chase, again, Keys is a little bit over-aggressive, you have to feel at times, and it baits Brixton into going aggressive on no health, and that's something we're kind of seeing a little bit in this best of 3, is Brixton is going in a lot when his team is saying, hey, we've got this. This game, it's working out a little bit better for him. He's 2-1 and 5 on Ahri right now, but really, Alchemist, his ultimate again was on point, and that's the second one we've seen from him, and we were questioning how much time has he had to play Azir? Is it one of his strongest champions?
Yeah, this game is still incredibly close, but into the second game of this best of 3, UWM do have the advantage here with that just 1,000 gold, plus the tower into the mix as well. Proper Panda, Keys, and with the help of Brixton chiming in, are trying to take away this blue buff from Lasagna. Mid lane though, Brixton comes in onto Alchemist, will be using the Spirit Rush. WizzyU as well, trying to take down the turret, but it's Lee Sin from behind. Doesn't quite connect the dots, but here's the wardrobe, here's the Tempest Gripple. Picks up the kill onto Alchemist, taking him down. Lasagna in an awkward situation with that Sonic Wave connecting, but there's no insect play to be had.
Choker a little bit split up here, so UWM mate.
Huge damage onto Proper Panda. The Heartseeker strike heads onto all the members of UWM. This is cataclysmic as Choke are looking to run them down. And with Chewed Up heading into the front, taking point in this chase. Not quite able to head on to Keys, however, but still a 3 for 2 in a bad situation from Choke. They are a reactive team who can make these situations work.
I was about to say, Choke may be split up, but the fact of the matter is there's a very easy entrance through the side as they pushed up to the turret. Pushing up to a turret when you're low health like that, remember these inner towers now have that shield, it takes longer to take them down, and you could see the effect of that. UWM overstay in the middle lane, and that's one thing that they've kind of got that they have to adjust, is they're overstaying in fights, they're overstaying in engages, and it's starting to punish them a little bit.
So, with all of that action, 20 kills in 15 minutes. If any game has been bloodthirsty in Challenger, this is absolutely one of them.
But one person that hasn't really felt the pressure yet is Lucian. Chewed Up hadn't yet actually backed to buy, and he's got about 2,500 gold currently on his person, so he's about to hit a massive damage spike when he backs up. It'll be Infinity Edge, likely the boots or part of the static shiv as well here. There we go, boots picked up by Chewed Up. So as much damage as he did in the tail end of that fight just with the culling alone, he's just got a massive spike of damage on his team fight.
This will be very difficult to deal with as we move into the mid-game phase. DX Alchemist claiming the middle turret in the name of Sarima, bringing up that Sun Disc, of course, with his passive. Will be able to keep control over this map, but it is Lasagna coming in with the man drop onto WizzyU. Huge damage coming out from the spear shot as well. Keys comes in with the Transcendent Blaze, but the Alchemist will tell him to get away as the soldiers come through with the Emperor's Divide. Now with the Dark Binding from WizzyU onto DX Alchemist, has to flash away from the following skill shots. Proper Panda still looking to follow up, but the Shifting Sands gets him back to his team. Brixton now with the follow-up. Numlock has been called out, but heads back into the team. This one's going to be a bloodbath as Keys will be dropping as well alongside his jungler and alongside his mid lane. And Choke once again with this reactive play come out huge. There's that triple kill coming out. WizzyU the only surviving member after that whitewash.
I'm not sure what Brixton was doing there. He comes in from the top side of River, tries to engage on Numlock, who's Maokai, who has a Rod of Aegis right now in his ultimate available. That just was a very weird turn of events. This is the tail end of it as Brixton goes in pretty much 1 versus 5 here. Everybody dives on top of him, and as you said, Choke reacting once again. Chewed Up is untouched during this entire engage, and from it, he gets a whole bunch of kills. And that is a big lead for Choke right now. That is another dragon going to them as well.
Choke come in with the second dragon now. That last one was taken away by UWM, so slightly delayed, but with that added minion damage, we'll be quite happy to be utilizing that buff. Everyone head back to base. And yet another Brutalizer picked up from Lasagna, even past that Warrior enchant, so just trying to get in as much damage out of his build as possible as we are 17 minutes into this game, and now there is a gold advantage being opened up here by Choke with that 2,000 gold advantage. WizzyU with the ward over the wall as well. And UWM are pushing down the middle lane here. Charm comes through. Will be landing the Orb Deception. Brixton with the rest of the combo, but it's not enough damage with the healing coming in from Soraka. And Keys gets blown up. WizzyU just trying to play damage control as Proper Panda again does not land the Sonic Wave. And a 1 from 0. UWM just being too overly aggressive when behind.
They have to back away because Alchemist is full health and has everything in his kit available. That ultimate is still up. Brixton dropping low.
Oh, the soldiers come forward. Here comes the Emperor's Divide, and Numlock as well will be taking down Proper Panda. And Jokerism is completely separated from the pack. They aren't quite able to chase him down. Lasagna does have the flash, and here it is. Diego's comes down for the stun and turns around. Oh, the collateral damage, bringing that to a 1-for-1 trade. Keys back from base, teleports in. Numlock coming in from the left-hand side, but there's no one to follow him up. That is not the best of flanks, so a 2-for-2 overall.
Seeing Alchemist back in that fight, they had to read that. They know everything is available, and UWM kind of make this weird decision to kind of push up to the turret even when Keys had died. And Keys is somebody that has not been able to get into the game at all. He's 1-4-3, no Trinity Force anywhere near being completed at even 18 minutes into this game. It's going to take another minute or so for him to get anywhere near that. And it's all because UWM lane swap. UWM instigated the lane swap in the beginning of this game, and Choke have punished Keys for doing it. He's not been able to farm up properly. And yes, UWM are in a better situation than last game, but Choke once again are in control.
There was a small glimmer of hope as UWM were ahead a couple minutes ago, but teamfight after teamfight, Choke, every time it gets to the nitty-gritty teamfights, they always come out ahead. Not sure if it's mechanics, not sure if it's a different factor, but somehow they just always outplay UWM.
And one of the reasons for that right now is the amount of catch potential that they've got. Keys is about to feel the wrath as well here, because Numlocked and Lasagna are on the hunt.
Well, the Sharks are circling, and here comes the Twisted Advance, and Keys only has a mere matter of seconds to live as he will be falling down to Numlock in the top lane. 3, 2, and 7 up against a 1, 5, and 3 Irelia. If anything signals that the lane swap didn't go as planned, I think that scoreline will.
And the fact of the matter is that Choke have so much catch and chase potential. Now they've got a Talisman of Ascension as well on Soraka, so you hit that, and as soon as your opponents have nothing left, you get the Pantheon ultimate. Alchemist will dash forward and then ult, knock everybody around, and again it's going to happen.
Brixton gets caught out, takes the damage coming in from DX Alchemist, but Lasagna comes in with a man drop. Down goes the support of Wizzy U, down goes the jungler as well, Proper Panzer. Can they make it free for free? And they have managed to get Jokerism in their sights and has carried on recalling. He stands still for a second. Now is not the time to be shopping. Lasagna comes in with a spear shot, takes him out, and 3 for 0.
It is going so well for Choke right now. Again, the teleport down from Numlock. They're able to catch out UWM when they're out of position, and Choke are just so good at punishing teams for being out of position, and we're seeing it time and time again out of UWM. They're trying to be aggressive when they can't. And again, here comes Lasagna into the fight. Numlock is already here, and there's just so much damage. UWM just cannot stand in front of Shoot-Up. He's 8, 2, and 7 at this fight, and this is just Jokerism. A little bit unlucky play by the fact that Numlock just saplings into the bush, but that's Numlock knowing exactly where you're likely to recall.
Yeah, it was Graves definitely went this way, whereas the most likely place for him to be heading back to base, well, that's the only bush in the area. So Proper Panda taking away this pink ward, a very small consolation prize following the last sequence of events. We'll just be taking these minions as well. But as we scan down the items, the Trinity Force has now been completed at 21 minutes 30. And when you consider a good Trinity Force is around 17 minutes, maybe even a little on the slow side, 4 minutes, even 5 minutes late, not in a good shape.
Yeah, we've certainly seen Trinity Forces earlier than that as well, but this Irelia just hasn't been able to get into the game, and honestly, neither have the rest of UWM. They're going to try now, though.
Brixton looks for a pick, but again, he's 2 ahead of his team, and the team cannot follow up. Jokerism is off to the side, and again, he is away from the team. Here comes the man drop heading in, and it doesn't matter, though, because Alchemist is over the wall of the shifting sand and takes him down with the soldiers' auto-attack.
They spot Keys in the bottom lane. They know they have the numbers advantage, and Lasagna is just so good at zoning away the rest of the team using that ultimate. And again, Choke just able to catch their opponents again and again in this matchup. And UWM, that is tough. The fact that they now have an Azir turret right on their doorstep, because it means their minions just are going nowhere in that middle lane.
Yeah, they are pushing up, and they are making this their own territory. Now they will be landing that Dark Binding onto Chewed Up, but they just do not have the follow-up. Proper Panda comes in though, looking for the insect, but drops where he stands. And that's the jungler going down, and Choke keep up the pressure.
He didn't even get the kick off there. He just dives in, and it's something UWM have just done a couple of times already this game. It's been Brixton before. This time it's been Panda, and even though Panda got first blood in this game, he is now 4, 8, and 5. And that is a horrendous position to be in for a Lee Sin that went into the early game. They picked up... Oh, here we go, mid lane.
This is disastrous coming in from UWT, mate. DX Alchemist finds yet another kill, the 4th one of the game for himself. Here comes the culling across, tags the support, but yet another kill, another pick. They are going to try and take another objective off the back of this one.
Honestly, the fact they've gone Stalkers on Lee meant they had to get a load more kills on him early in the game. This has been quite a bloodthirsty game just in general. The fact we've had 36 kills in 24 minutes, but they haven't really been able to utilize the Stalkers just by the fact that they haven't had Panda really have the authority that he has. It's led to him being behind. He's not been able to build tanky at all here, and he's just dying so quick. That's another dragon going over to choke.
Yeah, this is just really just going from bad to worse currently for UWT mate in this game. Choke are just all over this map, and chewed up is farming up the jungle, but 24 kills to 12, doubling them in kills, and again edging onto that 10,000 gold horizon. Only 8,000 gold at the moment, and are in fact behind on turrets, but that hasn't made the blindest bit of difference when it's come to head-on-head engagements between these two teams.
And the engagements just have been kind of blinded by UWT mate. When you look at it, they've gone in, they've said, okay, we've landed a charm or a sonic wave, let's just go all out and see what happens. And unfortunately for UWT mate, they're playing against a team that are very good at doing that. Keys against Shoot Up in the bottom lane.
He's going to go one-on-one here, and Shoot Up will juke away, gets the double tap passive, lands the crit as well. Proper Panzer connects the sonic wave, but onto a minion. Shoot Up is on the chase. Tries to take down that ward. This is a very risky play. Again, does not connect the sonic wave, but the rest of the team is here to collapse in. Can he pick up the second kill though? Flashes away from the buckshot, finds the second kill, moves on to Wizzy U. Can he make it the third? Does get the crit down, but a 2-for-1, 1-on-4. Not a bad trade, and the rest of the team will capitalize by heading onto the Baron.
And this will be almost insurmountable.
Oh, and Brixton comes in and is biting off way more than you can chew, and he will also drop to the might that is Choke Gaming.
Chewed Up with just such a good play in that bottom lane. He's so strong right now that he could just stand in front of 4 people coming in one at a time, and the skill shots didn't land from UWT mate. They didn't land the sonic wave at all, and there's really nothing you can do with that. Just the lifesteal alone out of Chewed Up was enough to keep him alive there. Really, just what do UWT mate do here? What can they actually, you know, take as their mantle here to bring them back into the game? They have to burst one person down, and I don't see Choke splitting up. They have such a good team fight composition that Choke can just stick together.
And we were in a very similar situation last game, Stress, but last game they had the luxury of saying, okay, what can we do to change up our tactics heading into the next game? Yes, they made some iterations, and yes, we saw the effect of it with them actually being ahead by a couple thousand gold in the first couple opening minutes. But now, 26 minutes into the game, keep in mind last game only lasted around 27 minutes before all just went wrong for UWT mate. Now heading into this game, they do not have the luxury of going to game 2. This is game 2, they are backed up against the wall. They need to make some changes, and they need to do it right now.
And a big indicator on the fact that UWT mate just are not pressuring Chewed Up at all is the fact that Soraka has opted for a Warmogs. That'll let her get more heals out, but typically you'll see a support opt for something like a Mikhail's Crucible just to get their AD carry out of dodge, but she's got so much healing right now, and Chewed Up is getting caught so infrequently regardless of the crowd control that's on UWT mate, that really Chewed Up is able to just position well, and that's what we know from Chewed Up. In team fights, his positioning is usually, or pretty much almost always, sublime. He will stay alive during most team fights. He's been caught out a couple of times just from solo plays.
Just like this one, but Lasagna is indeed called out here as Jokerism comes in, but the spear shot picks up the kill regardless, making that a 1-for-1 between the junglers, and just diving underneath an inner turret where you have the extra shield as well just shows how strong Lasagna is in this game. 9-4 and 13, but it was a little bit of overconfidence.
They had to commit 3 people to him, and at the same time Numlock has just taken down a turret in the bottom lane, and the inhibitor turret is being pressured out with that Baron up siege minion. You can take a look, there's the teleport coming through from Numlock as well.
ready for this fight. Brixton is incredibly low. This would be a 4-on-3 if they decided to go for it, and indeed Numlock does. Here comes the arcane smash. Keys has to juke away using his flash, but there's the double tap again from Tudor, followed by the culling. A 1-0 as they move on to the inhibitor, and this could be curtains for the team of UWM as Numlock heads underneath, double Nexus turret. Those things hurt and pack a punch. He will be dropping down. That's a 1-for-1 so far, and with the tank going down, they may not be able to end the game here, but they're going to take another chunk out the base in the form of the bottom lane turret. That goes down, and UWM have to be very conservative.
No one stuck around mid, and Chewed Up just got caught.
Chewed Up gets caught. Here comes the binding. They need the follow-up as well, but he actually turns around, not able to take down Jokerism, but the Alchemist comes in with the Emperor's Divide, takes him out. A 1-for-2 so far. UWM are leading, but Brixton goes down for the count. They are not in a good position anymore as Lasagna comes in once again. This is a prolonged fight as Conquering Sands comes into Keys, drops him low. He has to take a trip back to base, as will Proper Panda.
They have to commit so many people for each kill right now that UWM just do not have the numbers to deal with the amount of siege that their base is being put under. Middle inhibitor has fallen, bottom is going as well, and this Baron buff from Choke is doing so much work right now, and UWM are really up against it at this point. 2 inhibitors being down. Choke are looking to back away, buy up, and look to close the game.
Yeah, Choke are turning up the heat. 14,000 gold ahead in this game. Now they are leading in turrets. And this is just looking like the end of the line for UWM, not even claiming one game in this best of 3 in the semi-final.
And you can see the difference just by take a look, another look at top lane. 1 completed item for Aurelia at 30 minutes into the game. Over on the other side, you can see pretty much Maokai, Rod of Ages, Frozen Heart, almost there with the Spirit Visage as well. There is so much of a difference right now between the two, and it's actually 3,500 gold between top laners, but middle again.
And Brixton has been caught out by Numlock. He will be going down, and it is just, again, the name of the game, chasing them down. Great kick by Proper Panda, though, will keep them at bay, but not for long as Numlock comes in with a long-range Twisted Advance. The Emperor's Divide, what you be dividing his team from the enemy team, which is not what you want. They will be still running back to their base, but Jokerism takes a huge hit from the culling from Chewed Up. There's another kill going down onto the AD carry, and it looks like the circling the drain are UWM, with Lasagna heading into the base. They are running them down. Keys in the top lane, 1-7, trying to take an inner turret, and this looks like team collapse from UWM.
Choke have just looked so good in both games of this best of 3, and they are going to take down both Nexus turrets, and they will end the game.
They will end the game indeed, taking this series 2-0 in the first semi-finals here. They will be progressing onto the grand finals and taking on the winner of the next best of 3 we have today, as we head into the next game between FM and Rift.
That is coming up in a little bit, but congratulations to Choke. They just looked very strong in that entire series. I mean, they got the meta picks and comfort picks in game 1 with that Warwick. And with the extra, down in the bottom lane, you saw Zodiac on Morgana. Game 2, Alchemist pulls out Azir. They get a good lead, even though they lost first blood. I have to feel that Lasagna was just all over Panda's jungle again and again throughout the entire series.
Yeah, and Choke were just ahead. They all series. There was one moment where UWM was slightly ahead, but honestly, you have to feel in this game, it just looked like UWM outplayed themselves by going with that lane swap up. That pushed them behind, and Choke just said, okay, I guess we'll just play how we normally play reactively, get ahead, then take the driver's seat, and from there, as soon as they took the advantage, it was never let go.
It was a very odd lane swap as well. I wonder whether they just wanted to dodge the 2v2, but at that point they'd already kind of got the lead with that first blood and the assists down there, so I don't feel like the 2v2 was strong enough to dodge to put Keys in that kind of position, because Keys just got punished. The entire laning phase never really got the ability to get any kind of itemization, and again, he only got his Trinity Force at 21, 22 minutes into the game. That is an incredibly late Trinity Force for an Aurelia, and we've seen Aurelia Maokai. There's no reason they'd want to dodge that matchup, because neither really kills each other for the entire game, but really just Keys was under so much pressure, and the difference between Lasagna and Panda just was accentuated by that lane swap.
Yeah, this is like the bad end of Irelia. Like, you want to basically get out of containment. Like, the Maokai is usually what will contain you, like a Malphite as well. And as soon as you get out of that, then you destroy everyone on the map. But this is an example of Irelia gone wrong. And it didn't work out, as we saw in this game. And we are going to be hearing more from the teams just in a minute when we get down to the interview lounge. But either way, this game was literally just clean cut, as was the series.
And you have to feel like Choke came into this with a better pick ban strategy. They kind of knew that Irelia was going to get first picked away, and it really didn't work out for UWM, mate. So we're going to have to see what they have to say about it.